Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In this video we are going to create a leaderboard for displaying the results to the end of the game. So let's go to canvas and right click. Let's create a UI and panel. So panel, and we can name it leaderboard. Also you can see that the canvas has is a prefab, and the problem is that whenever we will modify this prefab, it will be also updated in the time trial scene, so we don't want to do so. So I will just delete this leaderboard and I will just rename this canvas, and the canvas racetrack. Let's make its name to racetrack, and then we will just create its own prefab. So let's go to prefabs, and we will just drag drop it here again as the original prefab. And now if we make any changes to this canvas, it will be occurred in this canvas, which is the second canvas. So now we'll just right click, prefab, unpack completely. Now we'll right click, UI panel, and the panel is actually the leaderboard, and in the scene view we will press F to focus on this leaderboard, and we'll just define this leaderboard. So we'll just click on this scale, and let's make it scale like this. So I think this much leaderboard is great. We'll just change the color of the leaderboard, so this dark reddish color is good, and I will also increase the opacity, something like 150 is good, I think. And now we'll just create another panel inside the canvas, and I will just create a UI panel, and it will be the top header section, for example, and we'll just make it small like this, and then we'll just scale it, and we will also add the black color maybe for this header section, and let's add it here, and now we will actually add this header inside the leaderboard, so it will be sub object or leaderboard. Leaderboard is a parent object, so add it here, and now we will just add some other items. And you can notice that I always create a main canvas object in the main canvas, and then I drag that object to the certain objects, special panels. So it is important actually, otherwise if we create certain text inside this, then it may create some problem with the orientation. So always create new objects related to UI, and then we can drag drop that inside the leaderboard. So here you see that we have a text, and we can make it a position text, and let's move it here. Here we will say position. Definitely we can change the text style to good times maybe, and we will just make it overflow, and the color will be white so that we can see the text. And you can see that position is nice visible, but the size is a little bit small, so we'll just make it size to something like 36. Let's add it here, and now this column will be of position column. We will just duplicate this, and before that place it inside the leaderboard, even inside the top header if you want to do so, but I will just place it here in leaderboard. Control D, and the second column will be name text, and then we will have the name of the player. Control D, and here we can just add another text, and it will be result text maybe, and here we can say results like this. So that's great, and now we will add some other columns as well. Create some slots. So before that I will just position these text a little bit like this, so that these will be in a proper way, and result, let's add it here, position, let's add it here. So now it's a little bit better. So inside the leaderboard we can add a image, and we can name this image as a slot 1. Okay, and we can just add it here, and then we can just duplicate it. We'll just bring it here, we'll just rename it to slot 2. Then we will similarly we'll duplicate it again, and actually we are creating these slots for the positions which we want to display for the certain players, so that you will understand later on. So we will actually populate the data at these points. So here you can see slot 4, and last slot will be slot 5, because we will have 5 players. Definitely you can have more players, and you can create more slots if you want to do so. So here you can see that we have these slots available, and now the thing is that we will also create some more sections. So before that we will just select all the slots, and we will just hide these slots initially, and now I will select these results and the top header as well. Control D to duplicate. Let's bring it here, and this is for the player maybe, and we can place it anywhere in the scene on the canvas, no problem. And here I will just rename it to the player stats like this, and this will be the position text, this will be the name text, little bit different, I am just using the numbers, and res text like this. And I will just select all these 3 items, and we'll just place it inside the player text. We can just change the position to 0 maybe, 0 0 like this, 0 0 like this, 0 0 like this for now, and definitely we will populate the data later on. So now we will get this player stats, and we will just change its name to AI black stats for the AI card, and we can definitely change these things if you want to do so, but I think the same name is fine, no problem. We will just rename it AI, and we can name it blue stats, and then we can just duplicate it, and we can say AI red stats, and then finally we have AI yellow stats like this. Save everything, and then we will move further. Okay, so now in scripts we will just go to our finish line script and we will create some variables here. Public game object leaderboard, string player name, static int player finish position, and string p name for displaying the text. So here in start function we are making p name equal to player name, and then on the trigger enter function we are making this line of code here. After this finish position id we are making player finish position equal to save script dot finish position id, and then finally after this time scale we want to show the leaderboard, so we are making leaderboard active on when we finish our race. So now we'll just move back to our Unity, and initially we can actually hide the leaderboard if we don't want to show this by default. So we can actually hide it in the beginning as well by start function, but I will just do this manually. So let's wait for some seconds, and now we can select this leaderboard and we can actually hide this leaderboard. And now inside finish point we will just enable the finish point to trigger, finish line trigger, and here you can see that we have a leaderboard section. We can just drag off this leaderboard game object here, and then we have a player name. You can assign a name to your player. So for example we have a name Imran for the player, so here just making it Imran and just mentioning it as a player here. Okay, so now we want to populate data to the leaderboard. Okay, for getting the positions we have created a new script with the name of car positions in the same folder, and inside the car positions we will just assign the game objects slot 1 up to slot 5s, because we have created 5 slots on the leaderboard, and then we have assigned public game object states, and then we will assign AI car number, public bool player, private int POS position. So now we will apply these variables inside the Unity. So if we go to Unity, what we will do, we will just select the player stats up to the all the cars. Okay, and we will add the same the script on this these objects. So the script is actually the car positions script. So where it is, yeah, this one. So let's add it here, and now you can see we have slot 1 up to slot 5. So we'll just drag off slot 1 to slot 1, slot 2 to slot 2, slot 3 to slot 3, up to so on. So slot 4, slot 5, and here you can see the car numbers and the player. So we will select the player stats, and we will just select the player, it should be active, and then we will drag off this player stat into this folder, this actually the field, and here you can see AI car number is also showing here, and we will not add anything here because our player is not AI car. So after that we will select this one, and we will not active this player, and we will this is the black car, so this black stat here, and we will add 1 to this car. We will select the AI blue stats. We will drag off this blue slot here, and we will just make it 2. We will select the red stats. We will just drag off the red stats here, and we will make the car number 3. And for the yellow, we will definitely drag off the yellow stats here, and we will just make it 4 like this, and then we will save everything. And now in the script you can see that in the start function we are making AI car number. If AI car number equal to 1, then our position will be equal to finish line AI1. We are getting position from the AI script and we are selecting the black car AI position. So for the second car we have blue car, third car we have red, and fourth car we have yellow. For the player itself we will just get the position from the finish line script, not from the finish line AI script, and we are getting player finish position. In update function we will just say that if position equal to 0, stats should be non-active, so that should not be activated. If the position equal to 1, then we will enable the slot 1, and we are actually making the position of the stats position to the slot 1 position. So we are getting the transform of the slot 1 and we are assigning that transform positions to the stats transform. So similarly we will do this for all these slots, and we will just move further, and now we will just populate the data to these slots. Now for populating data we will just create another script of a leaderboard display name, and here we will also add a Unity engine.ui library, and we will add position text, name text, minute text, seconds text, and also public bool AI black, red, blue, yellow, player, and this is important. So now we will just move back to our Unity. We will select all the stats including player, and we will add this script which is actually the leaderboard script over here. So let's drag drop it here, and now you can see we have position, name, minutes, etc. So what we will do, we will actually I will just enable the leaderboard, and actually we need minutes and seconds separately. So here you can see that we have names, but we don't have minutes and seconds for the results. So before that I will just add this res text. We will just rename it, and we will just say res minutes maybe, and then we will just duplicate it, and I will just rename it to res seconds, and we will just place it right before here. Definitely you can't see this result because we have these objects here, so if we hide that, then you can see that that is placed successfully, minutes and seconds. Also I will just select all these text, and a little bit I will just move it a little bit like this, so it should be in the middle, and I think we will just move back and we will select all the text throughout like this. Let's select this text, this one, this one, this one, and then this one, and then we'll move all like this. So now it's good. So now we have player stats, so you can see that stats are now rest minute and rest seconds are there. So now we will just hide it, we'll just enable it, this thing, we'll just change the rename it, and we'll just make it rest minute, and just duplicate it and here, and we'll just rename it to rest seconds. Similarly for other cars we will do the same, so let's rename it rest minutes and duplicate it, and this is rest second, and we'll just place it over here, and then finally we will have the red car. Actually not finally, we have one more car as well, so let's rename it to minutes, Control D to duplicate, rename it to seconds, and just move the seconds a little bit. And then finally we have yellow stats. We will rename this to min. Control D, and we'll just make it seconds. One important thing is that after creating everything, we should actually enable all of these stats initially, so these should be enabled, okay, inside the leaderboard, although we will just disable the leaderboard as well in the beginning, but initially these should be enabled, okay, inside items. So now I will select the player stats, and you can see that we have leaderboard, and we can actually select this player here, and then we will just place the position text to position, name, minutes text to minutes, and seconds text to seconds, and we'll do this for all other items as well. Going further in the leaderboard script, now we can actually populate the data in update function. So here we have created AI black equal to true. This AI black is actually this variable, bool variable, and if it is true, then we will getting the position.text data from finish position, and we are converting it to string, and we are getting this data from finish line AI. Similarly, the name.text, we are getting it from finish line AI car black name, because the AI black car is actually the true in the first condition. And similarly, we are making it if the finish line AI car black minutes are less than or equal to 9, then we are putting 0 to before that minutes, and then we are actually rounding that numbers, math f dot round. So if that numbers are in for example decimal, then it should be in a proper way, and that decimal numbers should be round to certain definite number. So here we are getting the minutes from the finish line AI script, and we are converting it to string, and after the minutes we are putting this this colon at the end. So before seconds we will want to display this colon. Similarly, for if the minutes are greater than or equal to 10, then we are doing the same thing, but we are not putting this 0 before that. And then for the seconds we are doing the same thing. You can copy and paste the code, but here after the string we don't need this colon at all. And this is for the black car. Then we will just copy and paste the code for the blue, change black to blue, and then for the red car, then for the yellow car, and then finally for the player car. We will just add player equal to true, and we will get the position from the finish line, not from finish line AI. So player position is saved in finish line. So after that we will get the name from the finish line dot p name, player name, and then we are getting the minutes from the save script dot raise time minute. In this case we are getting the minutes and second from the finish line AI script. So in this case we are getting minutes from save script, and that's it. This is the whole code for populating the positions. So now we will just move back to our Unity, and here the important thing is that the slots will be enabled initially, and we can actually inactive this image thing, so that we can't we should not see that slots over here. And then we will just save everything, and make sure that you should add the right variables here, right game objects, sorry, here, and you should select the right car here for these stats. And then we will just go to leaderboard, and we will just inactive leaderboard, initially, and then let's play the game and let's see how it will work. So we will complete a round. Definitely we have only one lap selected for this race, and then you can see the positions as well. So we want to stay at the last position, so let's see how it will look like. We are on position 5 now, and actually laps, you can see the laps are 2 laps are selected. So I will just go to canvas, and we want to make only 1 lap, so that we want to check our race in short minutes. We don't want to start a new lap again. So now let's see what will happen when the race will finish. Then hopefully the leader. So let's see what will happen. Okay, checkpoint, and you can see that car actually crosses that point, but we didn't got the result for some reason. So although you can see that when we entered here, then everything is fine. Imran is at 5th position. Yeah, actually that's fine. So when the car will reach the finish point, then will display these positions. So here you can see Ali is at the first point, and you can see his minutes as well, and you can see that how the leaderboard we can see in a proper way. We can actually, as you can see, the time is lesser than these gold and these minutes. That's why we didn't got the message of that completion, and we can actually disable this thing for this certain level as well. So also you can see that we can just fix these text, and we can place these text little bit to the left side. It will be better. So let's go back to leaderboard. Let's enable this leaderboard, and then we will just select the let's extend these stats, and we will just select the name text, and yeah, name text from here and here as well, and also on the header as well, the name text, and we'll just move it like this, so that if our player will be displayed here, and if the player name is bigger, then even it will be within the limits. So that's it. We have successfully created our lead, and now the results will be displayed on the leaderboard absolutely fine, accurately. In next video we will move further, and then hopefully we will start creating our main menus and other things as well. So let's test it again. I will just test it out one more time, because I just changed the position and orientation of the names inside the leaderboard, and I want to test it out. So Okay, and hopefully now the orientation and position will be fine for the names as well. So you can see, yeah, that's beautiful. That's it for this video. Next video we'll move further. Goodbye.